What's up, y'all? It's Jamel Gibbs. Look, I was going through my file cabinet the other day, and I was just going through some old stuff, trying to clean out the file cabinets. You know, we transitioning everything over into digital. Surprisingly, I had a lot of the files that, I had 20 years ago. I couldn't find anything from 02, 03, 04, but I found one from 05. I'm going to share that with you. I found a couple from like 06. 06 was actually a really good year for me. I found some from 07. A lot of people talk about how they've been in a business for, X amount of years and they're doing this and doing that. You guys, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I don't like to talk about it. I like to show and prove. And that way you can actually see that I'm actually doing it. I'm still doing deals today. I've been in the business since 2002. I've made a ton of money in this business. I've lost money as well. In fairness to transparency, but I've made a lot more money than I've ever lost. I didn't actually lose a lot of money in this business, but just making bad mistakes as I was transitioning to become a bigger investor is where I lost money. Now, out of, a couple thousand deals I've done over the last 20 years, I've probably lost money on 2 deals. That was it. And that probably equated to about $100,000 in losses. But my point in bringing this up today is a lot of people talk about how long they've been in the business. I'd rather not talk about how long I've been in the business. I'd rather show you how long I've been in the business. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm just going to walk through some of the deals I've done over the years. The first deal I wanted to talk about was right here this is in Reading, Pennsylvania, actually. You can see, check this out, y'all. This is how old these folders are, right? I have paperwork in here from 2005, right? Let me see if I can find a deed. Here's the HUD, right? I don't know if you can see that. It says that I bought this house on December 2nd, 2005. That's when I bought that house. Let me see if I can find a HUD in this thing. But I bought this house and I sold the house, ended up making a good amount of money on it. I think it was $46,554. that I've actually made on this property. Look, this is how I used to do things back in the days. I got pictures of the thing. I used to print the pictures, put it all up in the folder just so I know what the house looked like. I was completely unorganized back then. Just looking through the paperwork here. I made money on this house, but my thought process, here's the deed right here. My thought process was, what if I would have kept this house today, right? Let me just, and I don't ever use Zillow for comps, but let me just go to Zillow and see what this house is worth today. So this address, if you look it up, if you want to look it up yourself, you can see I used to own the house at 1642 Cotton Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. This particular house is worth 1642 Cotton Street. And this is just a Zillow estimate. This is not the real value of the house. Today it's worth $80,000, right? So that wouldn't have been a big jump. I made some money on this property. I think I bought it for $29,500. And you can see, look how I used to title this stuff. I'm not gonna show everything, but look how I used to title this stuff back in the days, right? I used to title it under my personal name. A lot of people ask, should you set up an LLC to start? I would recommend that today. But honestly, back then, I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about the business I needed to set up. I was thinking about how can I get to the next bag, right? How can I get to the next deal? I'm not worried about setting up an entity and all of that stuff back then. Especially when you just, I was in a business for a few years at this time. But at this time, I was still putting properties under my personal name. So the moral of the story with that is don't think about things, don't overthink things, just do it, right? And then figure it out as you go on. And that's exactly what I was doing. They didn't have education like they have today when I was starting up my business. I was just learning as I went on. And that's how you benefit from this whole thing. Just do it, right? Just get out there and do it. That's all you got to do. Let's see, 1518 Cotton Street. I bought several houses on Cotton Street back then. But look at how I used to have my sheets back then, right? I used to write closed on it after I sold it. I used to have all of the details right here. You can see I offered $32,000 on this particular property. Then I wrote down my exit strategies back then. with my scribble scrabble handwriting. I bought this one. The close date says June 4th, 2007. I bought it at 4:15 in the afternoon, right? So I wrote down the close date and the time. I wrote down the offer date. I made the offer on May 13th, 2007. So a little less than a month later, about 3 weeks later, I actually closed on it. I wrote down who the lender was, who the contractor was, how much the contractor bid. I wrote down who I sold the property to, et cetera, et cetera. But I bought this property for $32,500. I put $10,000 into it. And let's see if I can find what I sold it for. I believe I sold this one. I can't even remember. It was so long ago, to be honest. I think I sold this one for... All right, so that's the deed. Here's the deed. Again, you can see Mill Street. This is when I started transitioning. So I went from putting properties under Jamel Gibbs to putting it under Mill Street Properties. I still use Mill Street Properties today, right? But I ended up selling this property for, this is the old contracts. This was before digital became popular, so just bear with me. Look at how I used to do my repair budgets back then, y'all. This is my repair estimate sheet that I used to have. I made this up myself, and I literally like created all this stuff, not knowing what I was doing. I just figured it out, right? And that's where a lot of people fall short. But I'm gonna get into that in just a minute. I sold it for $61,000. You can see it right here. $61,000 is what I sold the property for. So I bought it for $32,500. And I sold it on July 12th, 2007. You can see all the dates and everything right there. I sold this thing for $61,000 right there. So I made a pretty good amount of money. Now keep in mind too, 2007, I think I was 26 years old at that time. I was born in 1981. So what's that? I was 26 at that. 25, is that 25 or 26, man? 25 or 26, I was right around that age group. By the time I was 25, I was $1 million real estate investor, starting at 21, right? And not knowing what I was doing. If you're young right now and you're just getting started, you gotta appreciate all of the content that you have on YouTube, like on my channel and other people's channels. You gotta appreciate the fact that you have access to information, because I didn't have access to information. I was literally learning this stuff and making mistakes and making money while I was making mistakes as I transitioned into becoming a bigger and bigger real estate investor. Let's see what this folder right here is about. Here's one, is an assignment contract. Let's see, I bought this house. It says 1220 Fidelity Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. My assignment fee was only $1,500, right? But look, $1,500 assignment fee. This was back in, what was the date on this thing? I could probably read the print date right here. This is July 1st, 2011. All right, so in the midst of the housing crash and, we suffered in business from 2009 to like 2012, 2008 to 2012. I was just taking checks. This is a $1,500 assignment fee right here. You see that? And this is from my boy Drew, who at that time, he was probably mid-30s. He owned, I think, 80 houses. He bought several houses. I used to assign contracts to him all the time. Shout out to Drew if you're watching this video. He was in Reading as well. Able Properties. Let's see. Here's another one, another assignment contract. Again, another one from Drew. I got this one in October 2011. October 28th, 2011. This is a $3,000 assignment fee right there. You can see that. So not only did I buy, fix, and sell, I was also wholesaling back then as well. And I was figuring it out, trying to figure things out. Well, by this time, I kind of knew what I was doing. Here's 1147 Robeson Street. I assigned this contract. I know I did, because I don't remember repairing this particular house. But yeah, it has, the title company put me down as Jamal Gibbs. Obviously, my name is Jamel Gibbs, but I made $4,500 on this one. You see it right here. Made $4,500 on that one right there, down at the bottom. So you can see that. This was, when did I buy this one? This was in 2011 as well. You can see November 21st, 2011 right there. You can see that right there. This is just another one. There's a couple more HUDs right here. I got some copies of checks and everything. Here's another check, 2011, October 28th, 2011. Man, 2011 was a good one, huh? This is under my personal name, but it's for $2,600, right? That's another assignment fee right there. You can see that right there. 1347 Church Street. No, I made $2,900 plus 11. I made $4,000 on this deal. You see it right here. I got paid $1,100 outside of closing, and then I got $2,900 on a check. But these aren't really bad deals when you're considering the purchase prices of these houses. This contract price was $8,000 right there. You see that up at the top? $8,000 for this particular deal, right? Let me just see if I can find anything else. Here's another one. This is from 2011. This is November 21st, 2011, $4,500. This is the earnest money deposit, and this is the actual check. And you can see it went under my business name right there, right? I had another one in here I actually wanted to show you, but these are just some deals, some wholesale deals right here that I've done. Here's one I bought for $1,500, 35 Moore Street. I bought this deal back on, let's see, this is 8/27, August 27, 2007. I bought it for $1,500. Imagine what this is worth right now. In fact, do me a favor, go to Zillow if you're watching this video and just Google, just go to Zillow and just tell me what the Zestimate is for this particular house. It's 35 Moss, M-O-S-S, 35 Moss Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. Just put down what you think this house is worth today, all right, in the comment section. I appreciate you for that. Now on this house, I remember this one because I actually sold this to my uncle, right? I sold it to my uncle and made, I think I sold it to him for $15,000. Now I was just wondering if I could keep this, if I would have kept it, how much I could have made on it, but I honestly don't know what it's worth today. Also in this one, this is the first house that, you know, I managed the rehab for my uncle. And at that time, somebody saw us bringing in new cabinets. We installed the new cabinets, installed the new furnace and everything. The next day we came back and everything was gone, right? So we had to call the cops, get the insurance involved and things like that. I actually met a cop who wanted to get started in investing after that. He was the guy who took the report. And, you know, I became friends with him and helped him become an investor as well. But, you know, just interesting stuff that happened in the business over the years, you know. I've been through it all when it comes to real estate in general. You know, I spent the last more than half of my life in the real estate business. So you can imagine, you know, some of the stories I have to tell. I've been through it all. I've done any and everything you could think of in real estate investing. Here's 1039 North Front Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm just showing you Reading deals right now. These are some of the older deals. I couldn't find the deals before like 2005, unfortunately. It says that I bought this house July 28th, 2006 for $60,000. July 28th, 2006. You can see it was deeded to Mill Street Properties, right? And you can see I bought it for, actually borrowed private money on this. This is me at 5. I was borrowing private money, $60,000 deal. That was to buy it and fix it. And I believe I sold this house right here for like 80-something thousand, maybe 90,000, I remember. Here's the HUD for 1030. I actually bought it for $45,500. That was the contract price. And I borrowed $14,500 to fix it up. You can see the proof of it right there. And this was on July 28th, 2006. You can see that all right there. Here's an assignment from like 2017. This is someone that, okay, I'm the buyer on this one. So someone assigned the contract over to me and the price was $4,150 right here in Guilford County, Let me see if I got the address on here. I don't have the original contract with me, but it's actually on the original contract. All tax liens to be paid by buyer. You can see that. This is just an assignment contract right there from 2017. Let's see what else I got here. This is Sacramento Drive. I actually rehabbed this house. I remember buying this house. This was back in, this is June 2016. You can see that right there on the folder. June 2016, I bought this house. I got somebody calling me. June 2016, I bought this house for, let's see, $44,500. You can see it right there. I bought it on June 20th, 2016. Mill Street Properties, you can see it right there. I bought it for $44,500 right there. All right, and I ended up selling this house. I was looking, it made me sick to my stomach when I saw how much this house is worth today. It's worth like $150,000. I should have held on to that house, but I sold it for like $95,000 after putting like $20,000 into it. And that just shows the importance. That's why I preach wholesaling to get started, but that's why I more importantly preach buy and hold. Keep the properties in order to build real wealth. The longer you hold on to a property, the more money you're gonna make on the house, period. Let me repeat that for all of y'all in the back. The longer you keep the house, the longer you hold on to a property, the more money you're gonna make on the house, period. All right? So sometimes you might be in a position where you have to sell a house because you need the money. But at this point, I didn't really need the money. I was just flipping a house because it was a good market for it. I should have held on to that house. Bought that house for $44,000. You can't even touch that house right now for $44,000 anymore. Here's 3201 Stony Point Drive. And this is the first house I flipped, the first house I bought outside of my personal residence in Greensboro when I moved here from Pennsylvania. Now, I've told this story multiple times where I bought this house. The guy wanted like $150 for it. It was only worth like $160, but it needed a tremendous amount of work. This house, it had fire damage in it, a small kitchen fire, nothing too crazy. I ended up buying the house for $80,000. I negotiated the guy all the way down to $80,000. Let me just verify my numbers. Because again, people talk on YouTube, but I want to show you the proof, okay? I bought this house. Yeah, here's the contract. Here's the contract for this house. I'm just going to take out the first page. Contract, I bought this house for $83,000. You can see it right there. $83,000. This was back in like 2015, 2016, something like that. What was the date on this thing? I can't even find a date looking at this thing. But I bought it back in like 2015, 2016, 2015-ish, because I wasn't living here too long before I actually got started buying in this area. I ended up selling it for like 160-ish, I think. Look it up on the tax records. You can find out for yourself. 3201 Stony Point Drive. I looked at Google, at Zillow a couple of days ago just to see what that house sold for. I think they got $225,000 for that thing. That made me upset. I ain't gonna lie, it made me upset. Stony Point, let me just check it out. Stony Point Drive in Greensboro. I bought that house for $83,000. I rehabbed it. It's worth according to Zillow, it just sold for last July. It sold July 30th, 2021 for $225. Right now, Zillow is saying it's worth about $280. All right. Now I bought this thing for $80,000. Now if Zillow's numbers were right, I would have made $200,000 on that house just holding on to it for a few years. So again, the importance of buying and holding real estate. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell. Here's one in Winston-Salem, 360 Janet Avenue. Verify it. I bought this one for like $68,000, something like that. I put like 30 grand into it and I sold it for like $145, something crazy like that. Looked at this one, it's worth like $225 right now. 360 Janet Ave in Winston-Salem. Let me just show you the proof again. There's some personal stuff over here. I don't want to show it to you, but I borrowed $83,300 on it. You can see it right here, $83,300, right? You can see the date right here, October 11, 2016. I bought this place for like $65,000 and I put about $18,000 into it. And I ended up selling it for $145,000. It was a good flip, but imagine if I would have held on to it. I bought this place for literally like 25% of what it's worth today. But again, that goes to show you the importance of buying and holding real estate. There's a ton more deals. I've done more deals than I can count at this point over 20 years. And to be honest with you, I've enjoyed my ride as a real estate investor. But more importantly, I started teaching real estate investors how to do this back in 2006, 2007. I wrote my first ebook back then. It was called How to Flip for Profits. Shout out to you if you remember me from back then. I started my YouTube page in 2008. I wasn't really active on YouTube until like maybe 2 years ago. I used to put out videos, but over a span of 10 years, I literally put out like 60, maybe 70 videos. Now, over the last 2 years, I put 300 videos up. And that's because I've been actively trying to teach more people real estate investing. So, that's just a little bit about me, how long I've been in the business, how long I've been teaching people. In fact, some of the people that you follow on YouTube probably learned a thing or two from me. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I've just been around for so long and I know so many people in the industry that it's a fact that a portion of those people learned something from what I was doing 10, 15 years ago. So a lot of people talk on YouTube. They tell you that they've done this and they've done that. Rather than talk about it, I just wanted to show you that I've been in the game for a while. And a lot of you guys know that already. That's following me on this channel, but some of you don't. So I just wanted to verify some of the stuff that I talk about here. And also, if you want to see some newer content from me, check out my playlist. Check out the Bird playlist. Check out some of my wholesale playlists. I'm actually walking you through. You can watch me sign contracts with sellers. You can watch me rehab houses. You can watch me Bird deals. You can watch me take on rental properties and things like that. So I've been doing this for a long time. And if you don't know me, this was a great video for me to put together just to acquaint myself with you. Another thing, if you're brand new in real estate, or if you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level and you want to work with somebody like myself who's been doing it for a while, who knows all of the ins and outs of residential and commercial real estate, feel free to reach out. I'm going to leave a link in the description box. I know a lot of you guys are just getting started and you don't know where to start. I'm here to help you. This channel is where you get the free information. I do have home study courses and stuff like that. But more importantly, I think you get the biggest benefit when you actually work with somebody one-on-one. Obviously, my time is valuable. It's not, so my programs are not free, but I think they're reasonable for the average person. And if you feel like you're the average person, I want to work with you. So feel free to check the link in the description box below. I will definitely be able to help you go from where you are to where you want to go. This channel is all about creating time and freedom for you and your family, for the average person looking to build real wealth through investing in real estate. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's Jamel Gibbs, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.